Hi to folks, it's Zach, and welcome back to my Star Wars tips and tricks section. And we're still talking about the light side versus dark side event, or excuse me, the dark side versus light side event. And it's the first day. It's the end of the first day. You can see on my clock it's 11:13 p.m. I've spent pretty much the entire day running uh, just about everything under the sun to try to get this tune leveled up. And because of my experience today, I'm going to go ahead and amend a lot of what I did in my video that was talking about preparing characters for today. So there's a few things that I would like to recommend changing if you guys are looking to go ahead and go through the event and level up multiple characters. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and rescind what I mentioned about going ahead and getting the improved class mission experience. It's very helpful, but a lot of what I put together in my first guide was actually based more off of going through the story. And I realize now that a lot of the reason of that was because I was making videos for the class storylines. And so I was having to play the class storylines. And what I've definitely learned from doing this event today is that the flashpoint bonuses that I mentioned going ahead and grabbing were way more beneficial. I haven't even done all the different optional flashpoints out there yet for some of the higher tier achievements, and I'm already at level 40. Also, I would still stick with altruism and persuasion, only because in the last Circa flashpoint I had to do, the Circa meltdown, we just had 4 DPS in there that just were not able to down the bosses right, unfortunately. The Sandstorm boss was just kicking our butts. One guy dropped. I pulled out HK, who was at influence level 17. We flew through the rest of the place without a hitch. So guys, if in a pinch you are in need of another group member and somebody drops, you can whip out a companion that has high enough influence and obviously get through it. The other thing I would mention is that the gear setup that I have. So let me just go ahead and click in my inventory really quick and I'll show you some of what I was talking about. So the gear sets that I pre-made, I still recommend that. Honestly, after doing all the flashpoints, I can safely say that you get some pretty amazing gear rewards as you are leveling up. However, it's not necessarily something that you can bank on. The good news is that doing flashpoints obviously is the bolster. I did not know about the bolster. If I did, I would have done my guide at the start very differently. Guys, you don't really need a ton of leveling sets if you are going to be doing the flashpoints or any other event that has bolster. If what you are doing does not have bolster, the gear sets are immensely valuable. And even while you're doing the flashpoints, it's still very helpful because that way, if you have the gear sets pre-made, any reward that drops, you can just sell. If you look at my cash totals here, I actually sent myself $1 million at the start of the day to get the big spender achievement for legendary tier. I spent most of it, and then I've already made most of that back just by selling some of the gear that dropped from the flashpoints, especially the artifact grade stuff on the GTN. So guys, having your pre-mades are still actually a pretty good idea. What I would be a little bit looser on now is probably the implants, earpieces, and relics. If you're going to plan on leveling up these tunes by doing flashpoints, and that's like the bulk of the grind is 1 through 50, and then once you get into kind of Prelude to Revan and Shadow to Revan, it's pretty easy from there. It's just pretty much all story. Then I would say that the earpieces and implants are a heck of a lot more optional than originally anticipated. I've always said that the relics are pretty optional, but due to the incredible bolster that you get, there's really not a lot of reason to go out of your way in crafting all of those things unless you really want them. And again, if you do any events that are not bolstered, then they are actually quite handy. I was actually on Terrace and Nar Shaddaa as I was doing some of the leveling and in between the different flashpoints that I was going through, and I mean I was absolutely decimating everything in sight because I had really good gear. Nothing would really stand more than one shot. It was very nice. But on the flip side, being inside of a flashpoint, everybody gets bolstered. Then that really becomes down to what moveset you have available based on your level. So anyway, guys, those are the major changes. So just to recap one more time, I would say that if you are looking to pre-make some legacy gear sets, I still think that's actually a pretty good idea, and that also gives you the opportunity then to not just grind flashpoints or do other things that don't have bolster if you get bored, and also gives you the ability to sell off anything that does drop for you in the flashpoints on the GTN. Also, I would say that the legacy unlocks, again, I would still take anything related to a companion, especially if you're going to grind out into the legendary tier. Then just go ahead and do it. That way, I mean, Corso Riggs, I started off the day with him. I didn't even use him as much as I did HK, and he's still up at rank 12. You know, that's not bad for, you know, just having him out for certain conversations. Also, I would take back any money spent on class mission experience. You don't really need it. If you just have experience buffs, you're going to be just fine. If you're in a guild, you're not going to really have any problems. And I would say do the bulk of your leveling through the flashpoints. I haven't even, like I said, done all of them, and I've already ground up to rank 40. So that's about it, guys. I would still take speeder piloting, and if you have the ability to take HK, I think that was still a really good idea. But, you know, that's about it. Hopefully you guys are having a good time with this event. I gotta tell you, it is a hell of a grind, and those packs are not exactly what they were made out to be. So guys, I'm still sticking with my original advice. Know the reward you want in advance, check out what tier you need to do to try to get it, and then don't go any further than that, and you'll be a heck of a lot happier. I don't think anybody really wants to grind out 40 levels in a single day like I just did, but you can do it if you want, which, you know, is definitely something you can do, but is that something you want to do? And I'll just also remind you guys, the rewards I got today for just getting to 25, I'll see what I get tomorrow when I get to 50, but I did manage to get the Revan Reborn supplementary sets, plus a few different pieces of armor from something I didn't really want. And so there was definitely a gain there. You know, I am looking for the Revan Reborn set. I did get at least a few pieces of it. So overall, I still think that was not bad. You know, especially since I didn't have to pay 40 million credits for it. On the other hand, I did have to take a day's worth of time to do it. So guys, it's up to you. Dark side versus light side event. It's pretty much all in your hands. It's not really an event. It's really just grinding through content again. If you're good with that and you're okay with that, I've seen a lot of people running around today with the Revan Reborn set, with the Freed Nad set. You know, there's definitely been some really good drops that people have gotten today from the different packs. It is still random, but there are people running around who had things today that they didn't have them yesterday. So take it for what it is. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having a great night, and we'll catch you next time.